everyone. So today I'm going to I'm going to cover a little bit about the pros and cons of Obama's new proposal on community colleges. So Obama's new proposal is to spend $60 billion over the next 10 years to make community colleges free to anybody who would like to attend them. Now, just so you know, if you've watched any of my past videos, I think you'll know that I try not to take a partisan side or anything. I try not to have like an ideological bias. I just try to present the facts. That my purpose is to inform rather than to persuade. So let's get right to it. I'm going to be jumping between the pro and con columns just so you can understand how the different arguments sort of interact with each other. Okay, so let's start with the first. Let me just erase this. A lot of people don't like community colleges because they haven't had such a great track record over the years. You're supposed to graduate from a community college within 2 years. However, government statistics indicate that over 6 years, which is thrice the recommended amount, only 35% of people who originally entered graduate, which is not, such a high success rate, now, a lot of people think that this shows that community colleges don't have a lot of promise and that, investing more money into them, especially another $60 billion, like Obama says, wouldn't be such a great idea. Because they sort of believe that there's no hope in them. However, people on the pro side would sort of counter this argument with a study. This study is the accelerated study in associated programs. It was conducted in New York and City College. And what the study really did is, in addition to the regular sort of community college classes, it offered a tutoring and developmental courses for students who were, for example, struggling in any subject, and urged students to graduate, within 3 years. And so what actually happened is that this extra support ended up doubling the graduation rate. Actually, double the graduation rate, but it also costs more per student, about 30 to 35% more per student. But since it doubled the graduation rate, the cost per student actually ended up going down. And the cost per student is the key metric here. So a lot of people would use this as, evidence to indicate that community colleges actually do have a lot of promise and that Obama's proposal is a good idea. But what people on the con side would argue to this, as you can see here, is that community college, that Obama's proposal doesn't actually do it. Obama's proposal doesn't create tutoring courses. It doesn't create developmental courses. It just reduces the entry fee to go for a year of community college. And that entry fee, some people would argue, is already pretty low. It's about $3,800 per year per student. So some people would argue that this entry fee is already affordable to the majority of American families, and that the proposal sort of needs to target the real problem, which is the lack of, support students receive at community colleges, the lack of tutoring, the lack of developmental courses. So some people would argue that Obama's proposal doesn't really address this need because $60 billion isn't enough money to, give tutoring and developmental courses to students who need it at community colleges. Let me just erase this. But there are also some people who are opposed to Obama's proposal, not because they don't think it won't work, but because they're opposed to it from an ideological standpoint. They think that, the debt is already pretty high at about $14 trillion. And it would sort of be frivolous to spend extra money on making community colleges free, to spend an extra sort of $60 billion. They think that would, unnecessarily increase the debt, and that wouldn't be a wise fiscal decision. Now, what people on the pro side say in argument to this is that they believe that we've sort of had a new economy. Previously, we had like a manufacturing-based economy. but they feel like we've transitioned from this manufacturing-based economy to a new technology-driven era, where in order to find a high-paying job, that you need to have certain technology skills, and these skills aren't really taught in traditional sort of K to 12 high schools. So these people believe that, people need training in technology and information processing, and that training should be accessible to everybody at a community college. So these people sort of liken the idea of making community colleges free to the idea of public education. The same way that public education would give necessary skills to people, they believe that, it's time to take the next step and also allow community colleges to give these necessary skills to people also. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a quick summary of the pros and cons of this debate on community colleges. So if you have any questions, just post a comment in the comment section below, and thanks for watching the video.